It is, but I think the tea leaves would suggest that we're veering towards a Donald Trump presidency, Kamali. Joined again by Dr. Sean Cox. You were telling me earlier that you didn't think this was so much a victory by Donald Trump, but a kind of failure of Hillary Clinton in her campaign. What was so bad about this campaign, assuming, as we are beginning to, that she's lost it?
Well, although it's still undecided,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are plenty of people in the Clinton camp who are wondering what they could have done better over the course of the past 3 or 4 months to attract voters to her position. And the fact of the matter is that she was never really able to connect with the electorate, with the man and the woman on the street, Joe Average person. She was never able to set aside any potential baggage that was there from her time as First Lady with her husband Bill Clinton, and any of the issues that arose during his presidency as well. Considering the qualifications of the two candidates involved, and considering everything that Trump has seemingly done to throw away this
Disqualify
campaign,
himself, you might
and
say.
disqualify himself to throw away this campaign, she should be in a much, much stronger position than she is now.
So in terms of the brass tacks of this, because I understood she spent more money, she had a bigger team, she had more people out in the field, trying to get out the vote at least. I mean, it's a catastrophic failure, isn't it, given the amount of effort she put in?
It is a catastrophic failure. And it needs to seriously be evaluated. What could she have done that would have been better? And I mean, as you said, she had the teams in each state. She had the organization. She had the unifying campaign themes. She didn't have the internal dissension that the Republicans did, and yet she's falling behind.
Talk to me a little bit more about this grievance issue. We've done the Washington politics, the suspicion it doesn't work for me thing, but translate that for us. What is it about the lives of ordinary middle and lower middle class Americans in these Rust Belt states, in these in-between communities outside the big cities where Trump appears to have done so well? What has gone wrong with those people's lives that have meant they have been drawn to his rather simplistic message?
Well, the economic recovery since the Great Recession of 2008 hasn't impacted them. The jobs that have been brought back into the economy have either gone to the very highly educated, or they've become jobs that have lower pay and lower life expectancy, lower return for amount invested in it. We have partial employment, half employment, and a number of people have left the workforce.
So you're talking about the jobs that they used to have being potentially quite highly paid, unionized jobs in construction or mining or the steel industry, and those have become what we would call in Europe call center jobs, or working in retail or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The types of jobs that would typically go to high school students working part-time after school are now being sought out by people looking to make a living to support their families.
Sure. You also spoke to me about the FBI email saga and the handling of it. I think you feel that the original intervention by Mr. Comey announcing a reopening of the investigation, we may find, with the benefit of hindsight, when we get there, it could be a very significant moment.
I think that had a much more serious impact on the campaign than anyone was able to anticipate. Coming just 11 days before the election, it brought to the front every negative thing that Trump had been saying about Clinton. It reawakened these images for all of these people that Clinton was untrustworthy, that she was deceitful, that she had done all of these things to flout the law. And they were never able to recover from that. Him coming back just on Sunday and saying, oh, by the way, that's okay, the emails don't mean anything, we're not going to reopen the case, it was too late for them to recover from that.
The damage had been done.
Damage had been done.
And yet, and finally, on this hit, this idea that it was always going to be much, much more difficult for Donald Trump to reach the 270. He's not there yet,
right,
but he's on his way. And the options for Hillary getting there seem to be much, much narrower. And the demographic shift across this country, meaning that it was always going to be more difficult for a Republican candidate to get there. He's overturned all that, hasn't he? I mean, it is a surprise.
It is very surprising how well he's done and how his campaign strategy has worked. What would be even more interesting for me to see is if, in fact, Clinton manages to pull out a win tonight, then he can go back and say, well, look, it was rigged. I've been telling you it was rigged.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to do this well, but I did this well. And then it was just taken from me at the end.
Yeah, well, let's wait and see. We're getting into the final stretch, but we're not there yet. Sean, again, thanks very much. Back to you, Kamali, in Istanbul.
Okay, Simon, thank you very much. Okay, let's take you back.